Hi everybody, I'm here with star athlete Norman Davis. He was also a legendary coach in the Pennsylvania area, well-known athlete and coach. How you doing today, Norman?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. So let's start off today talking about what city and what state you grew up in.
I grew up in Erie, Pennsylvania, down on the lower east side, between 3rd and 4th Street, down there on German Street, with a lot of different races, but not that many blacks at that time. You know?
Oh, okay. What was it like growing up? Neighborhood activities. What was things you did?
But me personally, a lot of people don't know this. I was raised up in a foster home.
Okay.
See, a lot of people don't know that, and the neighborhood was like it was still back there. We could come to the front door, but we couldn't go in the front door. So it was like that. But a lot of the blacks there, we got along very well. I had a problem with speech because as I found out what I am, it was like I knew there was something, you know, because the way I spoke. Me and my brother, I have a brother named Martin Davis. There's 4 of us, but there are 2 of us went to the foster home on German Street.
Okay.
Okay. Then my other siblings, Christine and Randy and them was in another foster home. They split us up. We was left in a home at the age of 3 and a half. That was my age, and they found us in the house by ourselves, you know. So Children's Services took over, and we didn't see our parents for a long time. So, but that's how it was me growing up.
Right.
And the funny thing about sports, okay, we wasn't even allowed to play sports. I used to have to say, I'm going to play recess after school.
You weren't allowed to say sport, like you were.
Yeah. Okay, so I said, I'm going to recess after school, so I had to go back to school. So that's how it was, you know. Because the lady, they raised a beautiful lady. She did, never a male ever came in the house. I wasn't raised up with a male figure, but her thing was religion, and that's exactly what she stuck with too.
Right.
She stuck to that religion. So when it comes to the sports, again, you know about the Little Gritters. Little Gritters was something that I was walking past the football field where they was playing, and I asked, "Can I play this?" You know, and they said, "Well, you're a little too small to play," and that was one of the biggest problems in my sports was my weight and my height. And I was too small. I was built like a. I had muscles popping everywhere, but I was an athlete. What I did, calisthenics was something I did. I never lift weights in my life. A lot of people don't believe it, but when they see my pictures, they like, "There's no way you didn't lift weights." I never did. I was just exercise. Me and my brother both, and so they said, "So okay, we'll let you, you know, play a little bit, you know, like that." And well, then it went from there. They said, "Who are you?" You know, and because of my speed, I was very quick. As I got older, I found out I had world-class speed. So as I got older, but that's what everybody was amazed with my speed. And with that speed, they were saying I was too small. So in my mind, this is how I thought, you know, as an athlete, was I'm small, but I'm fast. As I built my speed up to meet that person that is bigger, I can meet him and we could be at the same level.
Right.
And that's how I always looked at it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. You know,
yeah.
so it actually worked for me,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So, but the thing that then I went from there. I went into boxing. I won 2 times Golden Glove champ in boxing. Won my first one over in Canada. And then, remember, I wasn't allowed to play sports, so I'll get to that why, you know, how it all
Mm-hmm.
tied in. Then I was into going through the park down at Perry Square. See, you wasn't even born in the
Right.
Perry Square. And they was having a wrestling in the Perry Square.
Mm.
And I was going I had to go to the Boston store. Cause we used to get vouchers because we was in a home
Mm-hmm.
to get certain pans.
Oh,
We got
okay.
so many pans and so many shirts for school. See, we didn't get the voucher because being in a home,
Right,
that's
right,
how it
right.
worked. And they was wrestling. And I'm standing there, you know, that just excited me, you know. Hey, can I wrestle? They said, well, you got to go and sign in and weigh in over there. Went to sign in. Well, I paid all 5 of my matches. And then they wanted, did you never wrestle before? No. But I got to run. I got to go to the Boston store and get back home.
Right.
So I got but they gave me a medal that was smaller than a penny. And that's what I said, I can't take that home. That's what I did. But anyway, but that's how I got involved with wrestling. I'm trying to show you how everything tied in. And then they used to have the JCs up at the stadium. Do you remember that? And all, did they have it? Did they probably stopped at my time? But there's the JCs, and they call it now punt, pass, and kick and stuff. But it was called a J. Then they had the track with that. They had like the 150 and the 400, and that's how I got involved with the track. And there was one person named Chucky Britton.
Mm-hmm.
Chucky Britton. For some reason, these men took Chucky under their wings. I like to say white men, you know, but that's what it was.
Right.
They seen an athlete and they would pull, so they just praised him so high up like that. You know, in my mind, nobody beats me.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right,
that's how
right.
that's my mentality. Nobody beat me. You know, so he was a challenge. You know, and I beat him in the softball throw. I beat him in the kick. I beat him in the 100. I beat him in the 400. He could run at 400 real good. I had him put them behind that, but he could run that 4. And they came over the next thing I know, they was coming to me. Okay, and that's where my traveling went with white men, and they would pick me up and take me. Now remember, the foster woman, that would never happen.
Right.
So she never knew.
You never knew he was involved.
So I would go out, and she would pick me up at the corner, and they would take me. They would take me to Buffalo, take me to Cleveland, and I was running all against these people and winning.
Wow.
You know, and they couldn't believe the speed that I had. You know, my speed, and yeah, I never lost. I never lost in the 100. And never lost in the 100 here. I never lost in the outside. When I got the first loss I ever had was at the state meet, and I pulled a muscle. When I lost, I was 10 yards ahead in the state meet, and I popped that hamstring, and that's how I lost. That was my first loss I ever had in the 100 meters. And 200, I was talking about Greg Myers. Greg Myers beat me in the 200 because I didn't know how to run it. I didn't have a track coach that knew
how to teach how to
teach me at that. Yeah, right. Because he thought, I don't know how to coach you. He had never seen nobody run like this. So Greg and them, they was the academy. So we had everything we did was on the street. So now the staggers they start bringing that in. When they bring the staggers out, I'm looking back behind me and I'm like, why are they back there? And I'm way up here, and they can't beat me. You know, so I waited until they got to me. By the time we gave out that courage, they were way up there. I had to go get them, you know, like that. And dear to the day, I tell you, I won that race. I always say, I always tease him about it. He always said, I got you, know. I said, no. Because I was looking at him from the, you know, I was looking at when I crossed over, I looked at him like that, you know. But, you know, that's what it was back then, you know. Anything that you want to ask me is, you know, anything else you want to ask?
So, when you got to high school, you did what? Football. When you played for, you went to East, right? What was high school like? The sports you played in high school, different people you played with, you remember, or different?
When I never played JVs. I went straight to the varsity. They did have a 7th and 8th grade team at the time.
Okay. And
I was on that team, and we played the county. Or the county schools. But it's like I was being punished because I was only allowed to score so many, but I would score, this is true, I would score 8 to 7 TDs per game. And so they would ask, could you have him not run and put him in another position or something like that, and my explosive and quickness getting in, even on defense, was coming in. By the time the quarterback got the ball, I was in, and by the time I was taking it right out of his hand and going to score again. Now they didn't want me to do that. So Braven said, David, you're going to quarterback. You know the plays, you know what I said, yeah. You know, okay. Yeah. Quarterbacks can run too. You know?
Oh yeah.
So I'm scoring there. So anyway, but yeah, it was I was kind of like, I was only allowed to score so many
times. Right.
So I was there. Little Gritters had this the scoring TD, most TDs ever scored. As a matter of fact, I beat my brother Martin. He had it the first year on it, and I came back and beat him. And the only reason that we never played again, I was too light to play. I'm telling my height and my weight played a big part of that until next year. And I'm like, I can beat everybody out here, you know. But I couldn't play because there's a limit, you know. I had to go, but that next year, that following year, was a whole different story. So, but then they went into high school. I went right straight to. I went to camp in high school at East when they had at Brabender's. I guess the golf course, the farm they call it. But I went there. I went there in 8th grade because they thought I was in the 9th grade. They didn't know I thought. They called me to the Davis. Come on, boom. Went there, and I went in first game. I'm suiting up. I was going to start as a halfback, and the teachers, one of the teachers called Braben up. He said he's only in 8th grade. Braben said, what? He said he can't play. If he plays, he won't be eligible for his senior year.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, so Braben said you only. I thought in 8th grade. He said you can't play. I'm like, what? Here I go again, you know. And JV they couldn't, because I did everything with it, so I never got a chance to play JVs. But Bobby Woody was kicking behind at that time. I took his spot. I would have took his spot, and that would have been fair. He was tough too.
Right.
Bobby would never had a chance to play. It was sad, but I played varsity, and I didn't get hurt. And Bobby, if anybody reading anything about Bobby Woody, or Eddie Woody's real name, but he was phenomenal. I mean, he was phenomenal. And up in there, you was in front of Bobby. Oh yeah, it wasn't no comparison, you know, because my speed was so much better. And I carried the ball. He only gave me 7 carries per game, and I was carrying the ball 70, but I would have 80 to 100 some yards
Wow.
to carry. So you
You
can
average 10,
do
20
the
yards
math.
carry. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, you do the math yourself, and that's the way it was for me for football. Then wrestling. I wrestled 3 weight classes: 132, 135, what is it, 137, and then 145. I was undefeated in 132. I was undefeated in 137. And in 145 I lost 2. No, I lost 2. I pinned myself. And the first one I pinned myself because I never knew you could pin yourself. So I'm rocking the boy in the cradle and hooking that leg coming back. And when I did it, my shoulder went down too. And I'm bringing him down, and he's kicking like this, all of a sudden they hit. So I get up, take his hand, and they raise his hand.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? I was kind of upset, about that, but that's the first time I ever heard of that. And then I lost when I got hurt. That's where everything went downhill. I got hurt in 1967. And after I got to get my qualified make qualified time. See, everybody get that confused. Make qualified time for the Olympics at the age of 15 and a half. Okay, the qualified time was this is yours, 9.6. I ran a 9.58. If you put that together, what the time would be at meters now, that would have been a 10.3. Okay, so you can imagine what that's why it was work past speed. And so it was at when I got tore my knee up.
What grade was that? Because a lot of people talk about that.
Yeah, that was. I tore my knee up going into the 11th grade. See, and it's a freak. It was a freak. Everybody thought I tore it up in football. It wasn't football. It was in wrestling. I invented a move they called a Davis Special, and I would stand up, and then I would jump in the air and come back underneath your leg, and then I pump you. Okay, I left my leg behind, and his weight, my weight came down, and I never felt pain. I just couldn't move my leg. Never felt no pain, and he wasn't letting go either. But anyway, and that's qualified for states. I was the finals, they popped that knee cap, and exploded. They said, the doctor said my knee exploded.
Wow.
Yeah, from that force. They said he'd never seen nothing like that before. Actually, my kneecap came out on the side of my leg. Yeah, so it was something that I would think this is now we're gonna get into my coaching part. So I went in, and so when that happened, I'm in the hospital. And back then they didn't know too much about knees at all.
Right.
And I'm up there, got my leg up on these pulleys. And the scary part is when I woke up. When I was laying there, I woke up after the surgery. And when I went to touch my leg, but they had a cast on my leg. I thought they had cut my leg off. And guys, my uncle had just gotten a wooden leg. And I thought, boy, I screamed like a little girl, man. I screamed when I did. They couldn't cut my leg off. The nurses came in and said, no, that's a cast. I said, no, you cut my leg off. So, and I'm pointing. I said, and that's when I was laying there. I said to myself, well, this done happened. What do I do now? And this is true. He said, you would teach. That's what I've been doing ever since, is teaching. That's where it came from. That's where I started the coaching. And because my thing about coaching was I want to teach you what they didn't teach me.
Mm.
And that's why I do it. And that's why I have a lot of, I mean, I taught wrestling, you know, that football, I did football. I taught football for a while. Well, no, we're undefeated. Anything that seemed like I touch, they would say, anything you touch them, it turns to gold. I said, no, whatever I touch is what somebody gave me. And that was the Lord God Almighty. And that's true. You know, and I was always stick to that, because laying there with that injury, I really didn't know where I was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Being a foster child, and you never heard me say anything about mom's or father. You ever heard me say that yet?
No.
That there was none.
Mm.
I was on my own at the age of 16. I was emancipated through the courts. See, a lot of people don't know that.
No. Never.
See, a lot of people don't know that. I was emancipated through the courts, and to be on my own, and I was still in school. And got through that. And I had to go back, because during that time when I was playing football, a lot of people don't know that, I was getting letters, not from colleges, from pros.
Mm.
I'll get letters from pros.
Professional team.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and because like I said again, because of my speed and what I did, I used to travel to the Buffalo, Cleveland, Pittsburgh area, and knocking everybody out from who they top, wherever they.
So they knew about you.
They knew exactly. They were following me, you know, around. Like I said, these white men that took me around, man, they made sure. But when I got hurt, I didn't see them anymore.
Mm.
See, that's the bad part. I don't know if you knew Mr. Bloomquist. Bloomquist was a teacher at East. There, and he was one that would take me around. And the one thing about him, he called me to this day. And he said, there's never been an athlete like you. He said that people need to know that. I didn't, like I said, I was good in
everything you did.
I did.
Top notch.
Right. Never played on a JV team, and I always started.
Played varsity
Yeah.
8th grade.
Yeah.
8th, 9th grade.
Yeah. Yeah, they pulled me in. I would have played if it wasn't for what the teacher, you know, and it would have been, when I came, I couldn't make my 11th year, but the Bremen did do it with me. He said, "You all gonna be on this when we went undefeated. We're fourth in the nation. Either you play. Can you move that leg?" He always meant for us mine.
What grade would have been in that year? When the 69 when y'all?
69 would have been in my 11th grade year.
That would have been your 11th grade year?
And he said, you playing. He said, you're going to play. He said, because we got a team. He said, and this team is built behind you. When I got hurt, they had to replace me with 4 different people. Not 1, 4. They said, because he was, what I do now, you know? And so they couldn't, but I told him, I said, put Bobby in. I said, put Bobby in. I said, the closest thing to me, you know, I have world-class speed, but that boy can shift. You talking about shit for unbelievable move. I said, the one thing I couldn't do was what he could do. But I could get him on that end, and they go right by you like you were standing still. Right, you know. And that's what people know me. But the stadium used to fill up to come see me. They simply got to see how fast I was. Right. You know, they say, he coming on that in. He coming. I ran the third down specialist, because they knew I was going to get the ball on the third down. You know, and hey, you got to start. Just get us the first down. Just go get it. Run out of the mouth. Go.
Right.
So yeah, it was 11th grade when we played. And so Bremen, I was on the sideline, and I shouldn't say this, but there's nothing they can do now. But Birdman said he called us in the huddle, and he took gave me my number was 28, and gave it to Bobby, and Bobby gave me his was 26, and I wore it. You know, he said, you know, he said, you can play, but don't score. Like that. So I played. I played for a whole quarter, and gave Bobby
his number.
Gave Bobby his 60 yards. He can add to it. and I had a 4 at the 5-yard line, so I wouldn't come.
You would score.
And Bateman, Bateman, that would be his nephew, Dan Bateman. He said, we knew that was you. He said we did because he said you had a limp because of my knee. He said you had a limp. He said but you still passed them, running faster than people like that. You know. He said yeah, we knew that it was you. They said guess. All of a sudden, Bobby didn't have no limp anymore. You know? He said that you was just going by people. Bobby, he fakes you, he moved you.
Quick side to side.
Oh man, unbelievable. I wish I had that. I always said that. I wish I had that. And he always said, I wish I had your speed. Yeah, that's that. So that's why I became a part of that that year for the undefeated team. You know, so I thanked him for that because I got hurt. You know, nothing happened. You know, I couldn't do, but you know, that was a good thing.
What did because I know a lot of people know we go to your coaching career. Was the JFK track? And was that your first track experience? How did your coaching career? Where did you start?
I started in 1971 at Booker T. Wharton Center. When we moved to right there at 18th Street. Okay. And they remember I was raised up in the lower east side.
Lower east side.
And I came up into an area was very new to me. You know, I never seen so many black people. I'm telling you, I mean, it seems funny, but it's true. I never seen so many.
So Lower East Side was mostly more white than black.
There's Polacks, Russian, and that's what it was. Polacks and Russians down there, and there's very few. Woody Thompson was down there too. Sid Booker, you know, and who else? Gavin's. Richard Gavin and them, Beards, and we were in the home. I was in the home there, but everybody that was in that home was mixed.
Okay.
You know, in that home, so it was a lot of mixed kids. I was the only one that's there the longest.
Okay.
But Martin, he ended up because he wasn't going to listen to the lady. Because he wanted to play, he was a good baseball player and wrestler. You know who he is. I talk, but he ended up going to Meadville, but he was at the Oddfellow home in Meadville. Okay, so he was there and there. But the coaching part came, and I said they didn't know how to do anything.
Right.
They don't know how. They did not know how to do anything. It was just basketball. That's all they wanted to do.
Right, play basketball.
And I'm going like this. There's more to life than basketball. You know, everybody wanted to play basketball. So I would shut the gym down for at least an hour and a half, and I would teach them different things, different sports. And I taught them, the first sport I taught them was volleyball, because I played volleyball before too. So, so I taught them that, and they hated it. And then all of a sudden they started loving
volleyball.
Yeah, they started loving it, you know. And even Mel Witherspoon, he played basketball. He's one. He said, "I'm bringing the people from Gatling up to you're gonna play volleyball. You're gonna come in that time." He said, volleyball. So he said, they palming about, you can't do that. Then we had tournaments, and they got involved with it. And we started winning all the tournaments. Kept beating them IMCA, again, the white teams. And we got in the tournaments. And we started kicking behind. We won every game. And they came out there, I keep saying baby, but Mel Witherspoon said, man, I never thought I would ever like this game. He said, man, thank you, man, that's it, hey. But it was, that's why I thought. Then I taught him tennis. I played tennis. I could play tennis too. I was real good at tennis. And I taught them that. Then I went from that, then I went into wrestling. Then basketball, then the track. With the track, that was Irving Williams, Mike Williams. I know you know the name. But Irving was came in out, and then the twins, the Dwaynes. Them were my team. They were Mary Jaycox, all them. And I would take that team in the 70s and the JFK team, and I ran them off. I'll tell you, I don't know who would have won, because they were just as good as Stephanie Smith, Dietrich Gels, and all them. You know, so Kevin Harper and all that, and Keisha Harper. You know, that team was phenomenal. Tisa Williams and all them. Take that team and put them with that team that I had in the 71. Whoa, you know, that would have been something else. But that's what I did. That's my coaching. I started doing the coaching. Diane Smith was my first female person I turned. You know Teddy Johnson, and then with Teddy, with Diane Smith ran track, but that was soon I got out of school. I was teaching her, and we'd travel. But I was still doing AAU myself, even with the bum knee. It still was undefeated. Sid booking me and all them. I ran the 400 more and 200 more than 100. But anyway, so in 71 when I started. And to this day, everybody asks me, well, who was your fastest runner? Was it Dietrich or Dwayne Blanchard?
You coached them both?
Yeah. And Dwayne Blanchard got coached by me and his dad. But if I could have got him a little bit away from his dad, I would have, because I made him get, he went to the Nationals and everything, he made it to the Nationals thing. But I could have made him faster, you know, than what he was. But the person I'm going to say who was my fastest, that never ran track. Never ran track in high school, I should say. But he ran AAU for me. Tommy Stovall. Tommy Stovall was the fastest runner ever in the Erie area. Dwayne couldn't touch his shoes.
Wow.
Dietrich couldn't touch his shoes. Tommy, everybody thought, said, man, you bringing him like he's your son. I said, no, that's an athlete. And he wanted to wrestle, and he was a heck of a wrestler. So, and I taught him in martial arts and wrestling. And he ran for me in AAU, kicking behind this. And you know what? He didn't like the sport. And I said, I don't want to make you do it. I said, but man, you could be something. Oh, man. Unbelievable. Now that's the fastest runner I ever had. And I'll tell you, I think he would have beat me, to be honest. you know, because he's being coached right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, he's the fastest.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie Smith was not the fastest. Stephanie Smith was a 400 runner, and she ran boys times. She ran 52, 54s in the 400. But the boys are running now.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, okay. But the fastest 100 runner was Dale Myers. 100 runner. Dale was strong. She was physically strong, and she was tough. And then there was Mary Jaycox. Mary Jaycox was a phenomenal runner. She could run anything from the 800 down.
Mm-hmm.
And now for the kids, I coached from the mile down,
Okay.
2 mile and stuff like that. I didn't get involved with that. And I did cross country too much. Reminded me of cross country, coaching cross country. But from the mile down, I had never had all my kids that I coached from the mile down. They dominated.
Mm-hmm.
They dominated this area with the states. I had a lot of state champions. The toughest running now, I'm going to tell you the ones that with the combination, this is the coaching part now I'm talking about. The combination runners that I had that was phenomenal. The toughest person ever that I coach is, his name is, it's just slipped my mind, but he's gonna kill me for it too. But it's he called me the other day too. You probably know him too. It'll come. But anyway.
Where'd you coach him at?
He ran from, because I wasn't in the high school coaching yet.
Okay.
So I coached a lot of high school runners.
Mm-hmm.
And when I coached them, they came to get them, and then they would go to the coaches. And
so they were still coming to you?
Yeah, oh yeah, they were coming to me. You know, they come to me because they knew what I did with the AAU and like that. But he was a 2-time 800 champion for state too. I can't believe it. I can't think of his name. It just slipped. See, I'm getting old. But Brookie Keys. You ever heard Brookie Keys? You know, Keys that's running.
Mm-hmm.
His sister.
Okay.
Mike Keys.
Mm-hmm.
His sister. Brookie Keys. So Mike ran for me too.
Okay.
Yeah, but Brookie Keys was, she could run from the 800, 400, and about. She was the top runner for me for that. And then there was Tisa Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So Tisa Williams and her, matter of fact, Tisa came and broke Brookie Keys' 800 record when they came out. But my coaching started, like I said, back in '71, and I left here in '78. I got married and went to Florida. I lived in Florida.
Okay.
And I stayed there for 6 years and came back to Erie, and that's when I started up the JFK program. And I came with a different philosophy towards coaching then, because Florida was an area you could train all year round. So you can't do that up here.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a lot of good ideas of what to do with runners that lived up here in this area, where it's cold, rainy, and all that. So the man that showed me, he said, this you eliminate, find a gym, find somewhere where you can build. You gotta get them strong enough to be able to participate once they start outdoors. And that's what I did. When I did JFK, we stayed in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we got outside, hello, you know.
Right.
And that's what I did. I did that with Booker T. We did everything inside the gym. Then when we came outside, we did good. But that's what I did, because I was just waiting to whether we didn't train.
Right, you didn't do nothing in
Right,
winter time
so
and fall,
right, so
and
we
cold,
just
right.
kind of like sat back. Cause we, you know, we as minority, we do not have gyms. You know, not for athletes, for sports, for different sports.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's the name on the west side? He has the weight room, and so he does a lot of things like that. You know, yeah, like what he do, but he don't have the room to be able to, and certain machines that you gotta have for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's him. We need more. We need more like that snap. That's what we train at now. We do a lot of stuff. Snap, when it took it out there, they made an area for us, for we could do, even
like
do, yeah, you know, to do stuff. You know, they actually went and did it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, that's we just thought they don't want to give us the money for to do it for our people. You know,
Right.
it's you know, everybody said. You know, everybody said I went when I went to Villa. You know, you went to Villa. You just left us alone. You know, no, I went to Villa because I had to prove a point. See, people don't know why I went to Villa.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go to Villa for what they think. But for a reason, to prove, to tell people I can take a white girl and make her fast as a black girl. It got to do with coaching, you know, and that's what I did.
How long did you coach at Villa?
24 years.
Mm.
24 years.
Who were some of the hot athletes you remember from?
Kim Overton.
Did Kim go to Villa?
Yeah. Kim Overton, Tisa Williams, Nikki Williams, my daughter Patty Ford. But there was a girl named Sue Evans, white girl. And this was my first year there. And I told her, I said, you know what? You're going to win the 100. And you're going to win the 200. She looked at me like I was crazy. And I said, no, you are going to win. Okay? I said, I got girls that you shouldn't beat, but they're not being coached right. I said that you're going to beat them. Well, you guess you know. She won the 100 city. She was the city champ, and she won the 200. Okay? And she beat some girl that she really shouldn't have been beaten. But she could run. She could run.
Mm-hmm.
But she had a sister, Kathy Evans. She's a white girl. She ran with Kim. And fancy white girl I ever seen. she was, cause she paid attention to what I was doing with her sister,
Mm-hmm.
and she, her sister, she's doing everything else you taught me. I'm showing her. She be ready when you. She was ready. She came in. Now, listen to what I'm gonna say. Their Maya was the fastest. She ran a 11.7 during school time. Overton, 11.8. You don't hear them times no more.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy Evans, 11.85. Okay? Now these three, know what they ran for me in the summer when they was under me, directly under me? Their Myers, 11.5. Kim Overton, 11.6. Kathy, 11.6.
So you got them even.
You don't even hear them kind of times up here now. They, you know, it's just got to do with coaching. Without coaches stuff right now, like I see kids doing things wrong, I just go over it and correct them. I go after that's not right. Here's how you got to do that. You're doing that wrong. Let me improve that for you. Blah blah blah. Not going there to try to take that child. I'm not coaching. Now you take that child and make him mine. I'm not coaching. I'm helping you.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And some of these coaches is like, you know, they think you I'm
You trying to take the kids,
yeah,
trying to.
no, I'm helping you. I'm helping that child. And I coach I don't care what school, I don't count anyone. I see anybody that's doing something wrong, I will correct it. You know, I care about kids because it didn't happen to me. So I guess that goes back to why.
All the things that you didn't get, you want to try to get.
Yes, there you go. There you go. And but coaching, I love coaching, man. I like teaching. I just love it. You know, like I said, I teach not just that. I teach martial arts. I teach wrestling and like wrestling. That you can see, that's picture that's sitting there. That picture there is when that's the year when they got everything happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I had that picture. And that's the only picture I have because of that one. You know, this is what after this that day. Getting ready for the States. That's what happened.
Right.
That was it.
Why you think so many kids? What is it about you that kids respond to? You coached kids for a long time, and they all turned out to be really good. What
they trust what I'm saying, and then they also heard results. You know, there's a lot of people that. They say things that's not true. They'll say, yeah, I did this and I did that, or no, I done this and that, but it's not true. Then at that time, and this is a true story, I'll tell you, it happened like 5 different times. They said, oh yeah, my dad said he was this and he did this and that. I said, well, who's your dad? And I said, oh, I don't really know your dad. I said, if I don't know your dad, that's hard for me to believe he did all this stuff, you know, like that. And they said, oh man, like this. And my son, Monty was said he was in the room and everybody was talking all this smack, and so they said, and like that, he said, oh, you must have played against my dad. He said, well, who's your dad? He said, well, they call him Storm and Norman. Like that, and he's at a room like this. The whole room just shut up like yeah, oh man, your dad. He said, then the whole thing was story was just about me. I said, yeah, I heard stuff that ain't true about me too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, I'm sitting up in the stadium and somebody talking about, man, you should have seen this guy named Stormy Norman. He was 6'1", and he was 175 pounds. Boy, he come around that end. I'm like, that. I started laughing. I told my son, I said, them are the stories that ain't true.
Right,
I said, you know, I'm only 5'9".
Right.
I said, but I said, that's how people, they can take a story, they can take a person that's good, and they see them bigger than what they are,
mm-hmm.
you know, like that, and that story go, then they go on, because I seen people that say, you're Stormy Norman? Like, you know, yeah. They said, oh, I thought you were bigger than that. I said, everybody did. Everybody did. You know what I mean? I said, everybody did. You know, so, but, you know, these are so, but and that's what kids, they see, that once they see and hear, so you are Stormy, or you are this coach, then they go like this. I heard that you could, yeah. And I said, so what do you want to do? They said, whatever you tell me,
mm-hmm.
that's what it is. And then they start seeing the results. When they couldn't do this, now they can. And then they see me showing them how to do something. I said, take whatever your coach, I would do that. Whatever he taught you, I want to improve it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not eliminate it, improve it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And that's it's respect. And I'm never bad talk any coach. You know, I don't do that. I don't swear. I never swore in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's another thing. They don't. They just tell you. I said no, and I don't want to hear you swear either. You know what I mean?
Right.
I said that's just me. It's never been a part of my life, and I don't bring that in.
Right.
But that's how I was. You know. So, but this. I think that's what it is. They can feel that what I'm saying and
mm-hmm.
what I show them
mm-hmm.
is legit, and then they start seeing the
then
results.
Once you start working, they say, "Oh, you know."
Then they start seeing it.
I can
right.
trust him, right? What he's saying.
Right.
Any moments in your career or your coaching career you look back and say, man, I wish I could have did that again. Wish we had. What's that moment? Any?
You know, I looked at moments that stop me from doing things I did once before about athletes. Okay, now I don't take it. There's two. I don't think about Mary J. Cox and Stephanie Smith. Stephanie Smith did not make the JFK team. Athletes said you're not ready. You didn't make the team, and so she walked away. And then I did the same to Stephanie. I'm gonna leave right there. Now I'm gonna come back to it. Then I did Mary J. Cox. I said, Mary, you didn't make the team. Like that, you know. And she like, why? You know, I said, just stay making the times that I need to make, you know. And she said, okay. So she sat there. Remember Stephanie, now they both sitting there. And we're going to work back, and they still sitting there. The parents are waiting for them, and the other kids now is leaving. They said, I said, your parents are over there. And they said, Stephanie said, can I prove that I can beat the kid? It was her friends. She didn't want to beat her friends. And I took it like she just couldn't run. Okay. Okay. And Mary J. Cox was, you know what she said? She said, I want you to teach me how to get fast.